looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing all the wrong places. Hello, everybody. So the Jones Show. I'm he. It is the weekend edition. Hey, how y'all is? It's a work night. It's a school night. So for those of you who are watching this live, well, ain't gonna be too many of y'all because it's that kind of night. Those of you who are watching it later on in the day or the week, well, God bless you. I'm so glad you're here. I want to talk about something that's always pressing on me. That's finance. It doesn't press on me every day, and it's not at the center of my attraction, no. But oh boy, whenever the kids call, whenever somebody call, I have to think about, how can I help them out? How can I help myself out? Hey, Greg Johnson, blessings to you. Let's talk about this. Try not to go long, but I say that a lot, don't I? Yes, I do. Broke. Christians are broke. There is a reason why Christians are broke. I'm going to give you 7 here. I've talked about this in the past. I'm going to talk about it again because I think it's important to keep pushing this in your face. We are broke. It's almost like we have a spirit of poverty, yet we are trying to win the world by telling them to come on over to my place, our churches, and trying to win them over by teaching them a gospel of prosperity, yet we go home to poverty. Let's try to figure this out. I'll go through this list, find out why we do what we do, find out why we do what we do at our churches, and find out why we don't do what we're supposed to do in our homes from Monday through Saturday, and see if we can fix this in just a few minutes. Can't fix it in a few minutes. I know that. Go ahead and tag a neighbor, tag a friend, tag a cop. Number 1, 7 reasons why most Christians are financially broke. Number 1, ignorance. My people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge. Hosea 4:6. Yes, speak for yourself, Joe Bounce. Say, most Christians don't know they are royalty. Is that 1 Peter, 2 Peter 3? What does it say? We are a chosen generation. We are a royal priesthood. We are a holy nation. We are a peculiar people. God has called us out of darkness into the marvelous light. How could we possibly be as poor and downtrodden and sick the way we are amongst Christians in our churches when the Bible says that we are kings and priests? So they are also pathetically ignorant on what it takes to create wealth and achieve financial prosperity. Especially African Americans, you don't know where to start. If somebody gave you $5,000, many of you will have spent it all by 30 days or less. It would be gone, and many of you won't have nothing to show for it. It's gone. Why? Because we have become consumers and not producers. Joe Bounce says, if I give 10% of my money, will I be broke? That depends on where you give your money. But I know why you asked that question. I ain't touching that. They think it is a game of claim it, receive it, decree, declare. They don't know how to set up successful business ventures and establish valuable investments. Church on Sunday never, ever tell you about how to set up a business. Never. It never teaches you how to even invest into the marketplace. Never. They don't tell. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is acting up. They don't tell you that giving to the poor is lending to the Lord. No. They don't tell you how to actually save money instead of always giving it. No. This is the problem that I'm seeing here in our churches. So, number one, the first reason why Christians are broke is due to ignorance. They don't know where to start. Okay, I got it. Don't know where to start. So then we find people who don't know where to start, and then we don't tell them where to go to start. The sad thing I see in our churches is that we are not going out there hiring or asking financial advisors to come to our churches and do seminars. That's a big problem. We invite the prophet to our church. We invite the evangelists from across the world to come to our churches, and we're going to be giving to him or her. But we never invite a financial advisor to the church. I'm not talking about all your churches, because there's some churches that have my church have done that. You don't invite financial advisors or insurance agents, because gosh, the financial advisor is just as important as insurance agents, because every time somebody dies in your church, there is a GoFundMe campaign waiting in the online for you to go and give and donate. Why? Because Mama Bobo got 5 capable children. They're grown, and those children got children, all right? And Mama Bobo don't have any insurance. She died at a right old age of about 75, and the church has got to raise some monies, and the family's got to put up a GoFundMe to try and fray the expenses, the funeral expenses of Mama Bobo, and they're going to have to bury her in one of those public aid boxes. Why? Because Mama Bobo's been given to the church for most of her life. And Mama Bobo's got no money. She's been told, if you give to this place, a certain type of blessing is going to happen. But Mama Bobo's got no money. Her children have no money, and the grandkids have no money. So Mama Bobo she's been told about saving up for your children's children. Well, the children's children is here, and the children's children have nothing because Mama Bobo have nothing, and Mama Bobo's children have nothing because the church continues to teach on sowing in a particular ground. That ground don't reap an ROI, a return on an investment financially, with the same that you sow, you reap. So you don't put an apple seed in the ground and get an orange tree. So we've been sowing in the ground and not reaping because many of you are broke. This is not going to set good with none of you today. Yeah, too much. So all of that is a house of prayer, not for seminars. Are you serious? Yeah, Joe Bounce, I'm serious. Now here's what I'm saying, Joe Bounce. The church is a house of prayer, but we turned it into a den of thieves. Jesus would come and turn over many of y'all's churches because you've turned it over to them. So I'm not telling you on Sunday, bring in a financial advisor. No, do that on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. Do it on a Bible study night and just decide to do a financial seminar that night. Leave Sunday morning worship, Saturday morning or evening worship to that, but through the week, bring in a financial advisor. Why? You doing that anyway on Sunday. Every Sunday, there is a financial advisor at your church giving you financial advice. Lawrence, you hear me? I'm going to say this again. You think I care? Every single Sunday, there is a financial advisor that shows up at your church every single Sunday faithfully, and they give you financial advice. It's either the pastor or the deacon, the chairman of the I don't know, the treasurer of your church, or the trustee, or whomever is collecting the offering, they give you a financial advice. And that's where we Christians are getting our financial advices from, somebody who just knows Scripture, and they have no degree on the wall, no certificate of completion, nothing. They didn't go to school, they didn't read, no. They just only go by what they were told in Scripture. So they're giving you advice. So since y'all invited the financial advisors to your church on Sunday, then why don't you just take that portion of the service, since you're already doing the Joe Bounce, and switch it and bring in a real financial advisor, since I'm here, and tell them, okay, now that you're giving your percentage to the church, now here's what you can do at home. Give your percentage to the church, and then now take the rest and do this with it. That ain't going to take but 5 minutes to do it, since y'all spend 15, 20 minutes on the offering on financial advice. Why don't you spend another 5 minutes on top of that, or split y'all time? Spend 5 minutes on tithes and offerings, and then spend 5 minutes on financial advice on sowing at home and reaping at home. Y'all ain't liking this. So happy it is not about getting rich. Do not wear yourselves out on gain wealth. Proverbs 23. Come on. Y'all ain't liking this. Yep. So, number one is ignorance. Ignorance. Number two, second reason why Christians are broke. Number two, lack of vision. Where there is no vision, the people perish. Proverbs 29:18. It takes vision to succeed in any area of life, of our lives, and that includes areas of money, riches, prosperity, and wealth. Most Christians have no personal vision for their time on the planet Earth. They have their eyes firmly fixed on the riches and glory. So when the prosperity preaching goes forth, you're only focusing on the riches, but you're not focusing on the journey. Man. Wealthy people, these rich people, these gurus, these billionaires, they focus more so on the journey to get there. They are patient on the journey to get to this place, a place that where they can get to. Some of y'all are setting your goals too high. You know good and well you can't get there because you're too lazy and you really don't have the things in place to get there. So you run into people, or you chase after these preachers who are money cometh to me. It's more of speak these things, the faith gospel of claim it, name it and stuff. So you run to that because it's easier to do that. You just have a lazy spirit. But you don't want to go through the process of getting there. And that process can be time consuming, and many of you are not patient, so you don't have the fruit of the Spirit, which one of them is long suffering. So number two, the reason why you broke is because you have no vision. You have no business plan. You have not written anything down. You see this book here, this pad here? All my dreams and visions and everything that I do every day, I check it once and check it twice. Then I got another book here that I'm a pencil pusher. I write things down. Then I got a calendar here that I put stuff in the calendar so that I know, and it's right here in my face, and I see it when I wake up and come down to my office. I see, oh, I got to do that, and I must do it before the day is out. I got stuff written everywhere, and I open it up, and then I check it out. I check it off and check it off. All right? This is so important. Now, some of you people are going to turn this off. Well, some of you are going to turn it off because it's 12 midnight, and it's 1 o'clock actually in some of y'all's towns. But those who are going to be watching this later on in the day, this is not important to you, and you're going to feel offended by this. Don't care. Me and my children are going on. And that's number two, vision. Number three, the reason why you broke is negative association to money, wealth, and prosperity. Negative association. Curse not the rich in your bedroom. That's out of Ecclesiastes 10 and 20. Most Christians believe the devil hides in wealth and prosperity. And they believe money is the instrument of the devil. The love of money being the root of all evil, y'all say. The more money and richer you are, the more difficult it is for you to enter heaven. The less money you have, the easier it will be for you to enter heaven. And unfortunately, you cannot attract into your life that which you curse. You cannot attract finances in your life because you have already cursed it. So the church has become bipolar. There's a prosperity teaching going on now, but you come up under that. A rich man can't get to heaven. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to go to heaven. So you're getting both of these things taught to you, and it's a strain on your intelligence. And there goes that whole cognitive dissonance word that keeps popping up. Okay, so it's difficult for you because you have interpreted finances and riches as that which is negative, and you look at rich people and say they're not going to heaven. But statistics says that many rich people are happy. They are happier people because they have the money, so they got that out of the way. Now they live a happier life and they're more healthier. Funny thing, poor people are the most unhealthy people on the earth. Poor people are very unhealthy. Okay, poor people are not as clean. Okay, and poor people don't know what to do with money when it came their way because they've never had that kind of money. So when I'm in rich neighborhoods, when I'm Uber up and down the city of Chicago, or when I'm sitting in some of these high class restaurants or hotels, I went to go visit Patrick Kennedy, who was a congressman, and I sit among the businessmen and at the country club sometime, and I sit there and I see all this money there and wealth and prestige there, and they all are extremely happy. And they're not eating hamburgers and pork rinds and drinking that wild Irish rose and E&J and whatever y'all's liquor, Patron. And they're not drinking crazy. They're not eating crazy. They actually eat healthy, and then they get up early in the morning and they do their checklist early in the morning. And they get out there and work out. They either work out at home or they work out at the workout place. Okay, that's what they do. And they got money. You think that they will be taking that money and just going crazy? No, that's why they're able to keep it. And they have cars. They keep it in the garage, and they either walk or take their bike to the store. Some ride their bikes or go on the train to go to work. Yet they have beautiful cars in the garage. You say, I don't know if I can do that. Warren Buffett refused to buy a car. He's got this same car that he's been driving for many years. All right, my car's worth more than Warren Buffett's car, and he's the richest man. He ain't the richest man in the world. It's this Jeff guy now, but he's still an extremely rich man, and he says buying a car makes no financial sense because as soon as you buy it, it has depreciated when you drove off the lot. That sounds ridiculous to y'all because he's a billionaire and he can buy the car company. But if you're in the world of finance and if you thought like a financier, it makes a lot of sense. Nobody will invest into anything that's an inanimate object knowing that it will depreciate as soon as you buy it. Nobody does that. So it makes sense to me. Yeah, I know, Beverly, that's extreme. And to the common person, it is extreme because I thought it was extreme. But it's really about the principle. And the reason why he keeps thinking about the little minute things on principle, he will always be wealthy. And we too busy laughing at him saying he's a miser and he's stingy. But that's why he will continue to stay wealthy. And he gives a lot of money away. Him and that Microsoft man. They give a lot of money away. So they're not stingy. So number 1, ignorance. Number 2, lack of vision. Number 3, negative associations to money, wealth, and prosperity. Number 4, you're broke because undiscovered, undeveloped, and unemployed undeployed potential. Undiscovered. You're undiscovered. And your idea and your product is undeveloped, and you're undeployed. Your potential is. Do you see a man skilled in his work? The Bible says he will serve before kings. He will not serve before obscure men. This is Proverbs 22:29. You know, mine is your gift will make room for you and will bring you before great men. The Lord has given me the opportunity to sit among some of the greatest, wealthiest men in our towns because of my gift. It was developed. I developed my gift, hence the Sir Walter Jones Show, and it has pushed me into the faces and the offices of people of prominence whom prior to me showing my gift, they would just pass by me. I just would have been a regular, just your average Joe. Okay? Most Christians don't have well-developed skills. And they sometimes think spiritual gifts are only for spiritual matters. And they can discern an evil spirit. Come out, evil spirit. But fail to discern a good business deal. How could you be so spiritually minded but no earthly good? There's a great deal here, and you can't tap in your spirit. You mean tell me the Holy Ghost can't show you that that's a great investment plan right there, and you can't invest in that? You don't see that? All you see are demons. They have undiscovered, undeveloped potential that remains dormant inside of them. The Apostle Paul was a tent maker, and trust me, he knew how to make money. Those apostles were out there working. They knew how to make money. Most enjoy yourselves not to be stingy. Most enjoy yourselves not to be wet, but definitely have a budget. Okay? So number 4, undiscovered, undeveloped. You need to develop it, and if you don't know what to do, go to Google, all right? Find out. Go to YouTube. There's so many videos. Go to Udemy.com, Udemy, all right, .com. Go to lynda.com, Lynda.com. All these places I frequent, and they teach you how to do things that you got something in you, you know, those of you who got a book in you, but you don't want to write, or you can't write, you don't know where to start, you don't have the software, you don't have a computer, you don't know nothing. Well, bam, there it is. All this stuff is readily available to you, free of charge. You have a lazy spirit. Number 5, the reason why you broke is because you have a lack of strategy. You have a lack of strategy and a plan. And if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. In their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Proverbs 16:9. You need a strategy and a robust plan to succeed in becoming rich or wealthy or prosperous. But unfortunately, many Christians think it is up to the Lord to bless them. That's why you're at church all day. You're waiting for God to bless you. They don't strategize or plan anything, but simply hope the Lord will make a way where there seems to be no way. But yet y'all tell me, if you make one step, he'll make 2. Don't I still have to make the first step? Y'all waiting on God to give the first. Y'all want God to do the 2-step. They forget God expects them to plan and strategize, then commit their plans to Him so that He establishes their steps and makes them prosperous. He takes what you have already done and He multiplies it. Notice, one man in your life, he will do some planting. Another man will come and water on your life. So now God sees this plant that is moist. Now then God then makes the increase. God ain't going to do the planting. He told you to do the planting. And then He sent this man or woman over to your life to water on you. Number 6, the reason why you broke is laziness and unwillingness to act. You're lazy. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. That's Proverbs 14 and 23. Notice all these are in Proverbs, except for that one in Ecclesiastes. Many Christians just love to talk and talk, but do very little. Some of y'all been talking to me for years about what y'all gonna do, and you ain't done nothing, and now you are a senior citizen. Many Christians just talk. They talk about prosperity, but do very little to work and bring about that prosperity. They would rather have some prophet lay hands on them and pronounce success and prosperity over them than wake up early at 5 a.m. to go buy tomatoes and resell them. Times are hard. Go and find something that might even cost you something and multiply it. Look at what the Girl Scouts do. All right? I mean, there's some people out there who has witty inventions. They have ideas. There is a man who realized that there were people standing in line to see Hamilton for those expensive tickets, and they was wrapped around the block, and he got a great, bright idea. He says, you know what? I'm going to stand in line for these people and charge them $20 an hour. So he did. And he got calls and calls, and he realized, I need a crew. So what did he do? He got his homeboys, his own Uber team, and he began to dispatch these boys at the theaters and stand in line for lazy folks. Hey, I'm gonna get some Hamilton tickets. Man, it's gonna take 2 hours for you to, well, I ain't got time. Let's call standing lines are us. And they called the brother. He says, okay, I got a guy that's going to come and stand in line for you for $20 an hour. That's what he was doing. You know, God gives you these ideas and you just ignore them. There is no reason why Christians should be broke today. None. We have the Bible, we have the scriptures, and all we do is just read them and do nothing about them. You're broke because you want to be broke. Paul taught well, who wrote, I know how to be low and on provisions and how to have abundance in everything and in all circumstances. I have learned the secret of both how to be full and how to hunger, both how to have an abundance and how to be without. Philippians 4:12. He learned it. Y'all learned it too, how to be in poverty. That's where it stops. Better says others will wait on others to do for them and done with them. Give them a strategy. They won't follow it but want yours that you have taken the time to strategize. You're treating on the guy's paper next to you. You're at school and you just, hey, give me the notes. Give me the answers to that test. He'll give you the answers and then you might pass that grade and you might graduate, but life going to be hard for you. Because then one day the government is going to have to test you on this particular job. The law firm may test you. The hospital may test you. Somebody, whatever industry you in, going to eventually test you, and you're going to fail. Because you got the answers, but you don't know why the answers were got. So number 5, lack of strategy and plan. Yeah. And number 7, last but certainly not least, this is why you broke: unwillingness to invest in wisdom and knowledge. Get wisdom, get understanding, and though it costs all you have, get an understanding. That is Proverbs 4, chapter 4, 5 and 7. Most Christians just love free things. They want a free blessing, a free gift, a free seminar, a free ride, a free meal. They're not willing to pay for wisdom, knowledge, or understanding. And you can easily fill up some kind of hall, wherever you're, if you're in Detroit, it's Cobo Hall, with Christians coming to a free anointed service. But you will be lucky to get 10 attendees to a paying seminar on business management and investment. They ain't coming. They're not coming to this show either. Even if it was earlier, they ain't showing up. They've heard a whole bunch about what they ain't doing in finances, so a lot of these people they don't want to show up. Okay? So, these are some of the issues that some of you are guilty of, and just say ouch. Just say ouch. So here's why you broke. Number 1, ignorance. You want to be ignorant. That's on you. Number 2, you don't have a vision. And you don't ask God for a vision. Ask him for it. You keep asking God to enlarge your territory. Well, that's not for you. that was Jabaz's prayer. God may want to shrink your territory. because you can't handle the little territory that you got. So stop asking God to enlarge your territory if you ain't do nothing with the little 5x7 room you in. All right, lack of vision, negative association with money. Money is not bad. It's just that if you fall in love with it, then it becomes bad. So don't fall in love with it. Fall in love with God, and God then will give you some money. Okay? Because then he'll tell you how to get the money, how to obtain it, and you are power. You have power over money. Money should not have power over you. You're supposed to be able to draw money to you, not you drawing to money. And that's the thing. That's why I thank God for the success of my family and a lot of my friends as well. We wasn't drawn to the money. Just because somebody was throwing money at me, many times I says, no, I don't want that, because what you're trying to dangle over me with a carrot is going to cost me bad health, because I'm going to be up all night trying to do this little gig for you for this little money. I ain't eating right, okay? And I'm passing up some other opportunities that ain't paying nothing, but God's going to pay me. So in many cases I say, I don't need your $200. No, I'm not going to take it. I don't want it. I'm going to go over here where it's either free or it may only pay me $50, but the return, the ROI, though, is going to be greater over time. You got to think like Warren Buffett. You got to think like a financier. You got to be patient, all right, and have the fruit of the Spirit, long-suffering, and think. Now, if I buy this now, my money's going to be gone. But if I wait and invest in this $5 at a time, over 5 years, it will double, triple, quadruple, centuplical. I don't know what the other one is, okay? It will be so astronomical that I'm glad that I was able to have enough patience to go without. That means put the plate down. You don't need that kind of big old that food. You don't need that car right now. You don't need that house right now. You don't need. I know people who said that they needed a house and they went out there and bought it, and now the house is upside down. The car is upside down financially, and they can't afford to stay in that place because they didn't realize if you're going to buy something like that, all of the maintenance is your responsibility. All of the utilities is your responsibility. The taxes on the house is your responsibility. The water is your responsibility. A plane come down and fall. All right, everything is your responsibility. And then that city raises its property taxes, and now some of y'all's taxes have gone up 2 and 3 times. I know here in the city it went crazy. And now they charging now for the pickup for garbage used to be free. It ain't free no more. So now you got this house and you know you couldn't afford it, but you said God got you in that house, but all you were really up under was a par. You was subpar. When you walked in that bank, they looked at your account and said, we're gonna make some good money on this person, and we're gonna charge them 30% interest. All right. Well, over time, you barely ever touch the principal. It's all interest that you're paying. But God blessed you with that house. And I'm hearing these testimonies that are weak, because these same testimonies that I heard 2 years ago, now, today, they don't have a house because it's been foreclosed on. And now they're living back at home. They're going back, or they're living in a small studio apartment. Okay? God never told you to buy that house, just like God never told some of y'all to build that church. He didn't tell you to build a $10 million church. So you're suffering today because he never told you that. You didn't need to do that. You could have taken those people's monies and invested it into their lives. The first century church had all things in common in the book of Acts, and they bought and sold among themselves. It was like a black Wall Street, and they didn't rely on the government or the Roman Empire, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, the Sanhedrin. They didn't worry about none of those folk, because God gave them this ability to do things, and produce things, and invent things, okay? And they sold it and bought it among themselves, and they did not have lack. All right? Is this making any sense to anybody out there? So this has not changed. 1 + 1 is still 2. It has not changed, and the way down is the way up, that is still down. The higher a skyscraper is, the further the construction man need to dig in the ground. He's got to dig a deeper foundation if he's going to add another floor. If he has another floor, he's got to dig deeper and deeper in the ground. That's the way you should be thinking about your finances and your children's life. You've got to go without. Dig deeper, suffer a little bit, because one day you're going to retire. You're going to be 65, 70, 75 years old if the Lord should delay his coming and the Lord should allow you to live that long. And you're going to look back and say, I got no money to retire on. I have no 401k. It's gone. And there's no job security. They told me, get out. I'm almost 70 years old. They said, you can't work here no longer. You got to go. Look back, you got nothing. Now you got to try and live off of your children. That's embarrassing. Okay? You're supposed to be storing up treasures for them, so that you could teach them how to invest in compound interest and things, and so that they can pour into the children up under that. But no, unfortunately, this generation is going to be relying on their children to take care of them. My parents are up in age right now, and they don't rely on their sons or daughters to take care of them. My father still takes care of him and my mama without our financial help. He don't need our help. Not to say that I won't offer it to him, but he don't need our help. He would like some of our help, so we pitch in where we can. But my father knew what he was doing in the 1960s and 70s. And so he knew that black people became wealthy from real estate, and that's what he did. He went out there and bought all that real estate. He got good insurance, and so he and my mama, they go and travel around the country in timeshare, and he just picks her up and take her wherever he wants to, because my father understood generational wealth. That's what I learned it from. Okay? Praise God for this information. Thank you, Sir Walter. He has shown me the way. I'm retiring this year at the young age of 55. Look at that. Dolores Robinson is retiring at the age of 55. She's retiring 10 years earlier. 10, 11, 12. I don't know what the retirement age is now. They keep raising it. But she's retiring a decade early. Ain't that something? That's what I'm talking about right there. And so many of you who are watching this on YouTube, what have you, you're going to ignore it. Well, can't say I told you so. And when the time comes, if something should happen to you or you get sick, what are you going to do? I made sure when I got life insurance that I had an insurance that's big enough to not only just bury me. That's selfish. You don't just buy insurance so that you can be buried. Now, if you live by yourself and you ain't got no children, all right, that you birthed, then by all means, just get enough life insurance for somebody to bury you and be done with it. But you got children. So why would you do that, you selfish person? So I knew I had some kids that I need to make sure that they're okay. I don't care if they're grown or not. I still want them to be okay. All right. And I want them to understand the meaning of how important it is, because they're going to have children eventually. All right. And I want them to know how much I love them by leaving them something. So if I should die, there will be enough there to bury me and to take care of my children, and possibly enough to put into my grandchildren's college fund. You see what I'm saying? That's so important, and it doesn't cost a whole lot of money to do that. That's the sad part about this, is that we spend more money on groceries, the stuff that we shouldn't be eating. We spend more money on Nike. We spend more money at the Asian shops to get our hair done. Well, we buy their hair, Indian hair. And we get our nails done and feet done and all kind of stuff done. We spend that kind of money, and we could be taking portion, just a small part of that money, and put it into a life plan like an insurance policy. In my policy, I don't have to die for me to collect from it, because I can either pull from it, or if something happens where cancer hits me, a stroke, renal failure, and all these things, then it's like Aflac. You know, I'm sitting up in the hospital. I still got bills here. My utilities still go on. Okay, taxes and all that stuff still go on. So if I'm sitting up in the hospital, my insurance company pays me if I'm down for a little while. but I pay a little extra for that insurance. Why? Because I can and I should, and I don't want that responsibility falling on my children. People, please, if you don't have this in place now, go get it. Find out. Talk to a financial advisor. All those pastors are not financial advisors. They're not your financial advisors. Okay, I'm not trying to make them weak in the faith and the gospel and teaching and hermeneutics and exegesis and all that. Let them do what they do, but let them tell them to stay in their lane. God has given many of you particular gifts, a diversity of gifts and callings come to people of God. Okay, so your pastor, that ain't his gift, his talent. All right, it's somebody out there, that's theirs. Bring them in there and talk to your people. If you care about the flock, talk to them and see if they can and examine what they have and see what you can do to better their financial situation. All right, it's going to help you. It's going to bless you. I'm trying to tell you, stop being lazy. And these are the reasons why you broke. Again, ignorance. Number 2, lack of vision. Number 3, negative association to money. Number 4, you got a talent, but it's undiscovered. It's undeveloped. Okay. Number 5, lack of strategy and a plan. Number 6, laziness, and you're unwilling to act. Take one step, just one step, and you will be in China. Understand? Everybody who competed in the Olympics, they all said the same thing. How did you get to this place? I woke up and took one step. I woke up the next day and took one step. I kept doing that every day. By the end of the year, I've made 365 steps. That's 365 steps I would not have taken if I had just not pushed myself to the limit of making one step. Okay? Because that one step turned into 2 and 3. There was a superpower that came from heaven that pushed me further. As a man thinks in his mind or in his heart. That's what this is. This is the heart. This is a blood pump right here. That's all this job is. But this really is the heart. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. All right. And number 7, unwillingness to invest in wisdom and knowledge. Most Christians just love free things. Okay. Go online and get you some education. You don't have to go and spend thousands of dollars to get a bachelor or master's or PhD. You don't have to do any of that stuff. There's a lot of free things that you can get off of Google, and always educate your mind. Every CEO, every millionaire, billionaire says the same thing. They read hundreds of books all year. Warren Buffett and what's his name? The Microsoft man, Jeff Bezos or whatever his name is. Okay, a few of these guys, they read one book either a day or they read a book a week. They read every day. They get up and they read. I would show y'all my library over there. I've got a library here. I got a library over here with several casings, and I got a library behind me. Okay, everywhere I go in my house, there are books there, and every now and then I open it up and say, okay, what can I learn today, or what can I do to reiterate what I learned before, and then use it for today, how to empower myself. Because all these books here, they ain't out of date. There are no books that I have is out of date, even though many of these were published in the 1950s. They're not out of date. If they're history books, they're not out of date. Okay? That's why I'm a historian today, because I constantly read, constantly reading, constantly studying. I'm constantly watching the news for current events. And if there's a word that comes across the screen that I've never seen before, I stop that DVR and I go to the Google sphere and try to figure out what do that word mean. Now I got one new word in my vocabulary today. You understand? And then I began to implement that word in my conversation with people who I might impress with that word, but that impressment may cause me to get to a place that I may not get if I didn't know that word. I don't know if this is making any sense to anybody on here. I know y'all getting upset with me. Longevity is an investment in oneself. for generation after generation. Jermaine, why are you preaching this with me, man? Bill Gates, thank you. I couldn't think of his name. Bill Gates. All right? These men and women read books every single day. Every day. They're pouring in. So Christians got a book that you don't read. It's called the Bible. And you refuse to read it. Yet you're trying to beat the people up in the street with it, but you don't even read it. That's why many atheists win you over to them instead of you winning them over. Atheists can't stand me. They are afraid of me because they know I know what I'm talking about, and I've won them over to the Lord. And others who refuse to come over, they still talk to me with love and kindness because they say, we don't like your God. We hate him. But there's something about you, though. You kind of know a little bit about that stupid Bible, they call it. That they call it, what they call it, a puppet in the sky, or whatever they call it. They use whatever. It don't offend me at all. God up there, he laughing. He holds them in what the Bible says derision. God is cracking up at the unbeliever. He says, well, Walter, a fool says in his heart, there is no God. So you're really wasting your time with some fools out there because I don't want you to toss your pearls to swine. So I don't spend a whole lot of time fighting with atheists. I don't. I just talk to them about science. They love science. That's all. Science is their God. There's no such thing as an atheist. No such thing. They believe in something. They believe in some kind of higher power, and that power to them is science. That's their God. All right? The Bible says you are without any excuse of the invisible things. God has showed it to you at birth or creation. That's what Romans chapter 1 says. So there is no such thing as an atheist. They just call it that because they want to separate themselves from you crazy Christians. All right. Oh, yeah, Walter, we both know of them. Yeah, the spaghetti God. Thank you, Jermaine. That's how me and Jermaine met, through those atheists. They call them spaghetti gods. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Blessings to you, Jason Shepherd. I know you probably just got here, but I just got through preaching the gospel through finance. And I'm going to shut this down because I've been over here on 47 minutes already. All right? You got any questions, concerns or answers or comments, put it here in the comments so that I'll know that I can maybe expound on it while we're still here. There might be something that I need to talk about this whole finance thing. Because, again, I'm tired of seeing poor people around. Here's one thing. Birds of a feather still flock together, and rich people always hang out with other rich people. Notice that. Rich people don't hang out with poor people. They do not. They refuse. You pulling them down. Evil communication corrupts good manners. They don't hang around poor people, and I have pulled myself from poor people. My friends list got cut. In 2018, I cut it. I said, these people, I can't be around them no more. I can't. They call me and beg me, ask me for this. I said, I can't. I have to cut them off. Because if you around people who are always takers, they're always takers, you'll never succeed. Because too many church people know Bible but not business. See, Jason Shepherd, why didn't you come a little earlier? Why couldn't you come 45 minutes ago? You're awesome. May you have a great night. Blessings to you, Jermaine Felton. Please, people, stop hanging around poor people. Stop hanging around poor-minded people is what I mean. Jesus said that the poor will be with you always. And so help the poor, but try your best to teach them how to fish and stop constantly feeding them fish. I'm not talking about poor people, homeless people, and going to soup kitchens. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about your poor friends. Stop giving your poor friends handouts. Stop it. You're enabling them. You are a drug dealer to them, and they will constantly slip into that Get Out scene where he was she put him in the what she call it, the sinking place. All right? Your friends are pushing you into the sinking place. And you will stay down there, and every time she hit that cup, I don't have a cup here, but every time she hit that cup, there he was, and he went down into the sinking place. Your poor friends will come into your life, and there they go. Thank you, the sunken place. Jason says, your poor friends do this, and there you go, digging in your wallet. As soon as they come up to you, you ask them a question. Hey, how you doing? They like, and you like, pull out your wallet. I cut them people off. I cut them off. They know you love them, and they find clever, witty ways to get you to and further enable them in life, and they will always be poor because they have a spirit of poverty, and they're bringing you down. Cut them off like a bird does. These chicks in the nest, they kick them out. You better fly. Your wings ain't developed yet. You gonna die, little baby chick, because we kicking you out the nest. Shoot, and they go to flapping and flacking and flacking and fall to their death. Oh well, we can have some more chicks. All right, you next. No, not yeah, you next. Get out. And that little thing, it finally gets its place in the wind. Because that little chick right there, I don't know what he was doing, but he was paying attention. He was cleaning his feather or something. He was stretching at nighttime when the other mama bird was asleep. That little baby was there lifting weights. Okay, doing all kind of calisthenics. Because in the morning, mama gonna kick us out the nest one day, and this little bird right here said, nah, mama love us. So the other bird like, oh, okay, all right, get them wings up. And then mama woke up that morning, all right, everybody got to go. Everybody, get out. Well, you know who's going to survive. And so that's your friends. They're not listening to you. They don't really care. Cut them off. Then go back, count up your pennies. Count it up. Find out, am I doing the right thing on Sunday morning? Am I doing the right thing? All right. You feel that you're doing the right thing? Good. Continue to do the right thing if you feel you're doing the right thing. What you doing Monday through Saturday, though, with the rest of the money that you didn't give to the church? What you doing with the rest of that? I mean, think about it. Can you retire at the age of 55 like Dolores Robinson just said here? Raise your hand. How many of you out there can retire in another 10 years? Because let me tell you something, these millennials going to shock y'all. See, grandmama worked till she was up in her 60s. These millennials ain't playing those games. That's why you see all these young millionaires on TV. They in their 20s. They retired. They don't have to work. If they're working, it's because they want to. But how you going to be 30 years old and you retired off your job with a nice nest egg? The millennials going to shock y'all, and then that Generation Z going to shock the millennials. Y'all better wake up. Don't take this to the grave. Please, people. Don't take this to the grave. Do it now and teach your children how to invest. Now, you want specifics? Let's talk. It's a whole lot of ways to invest your money. Whole lot of ways. Or just do it the old-fashioned way. Save it right now. If you don't know what to do as far as investment is concerned, please save it. Put a little bit away every day. You can do it. You're supposed to take your first hour of your work day, you're supposed to put that away and pay yourself first. Do you hear me? The first hour of your work day, if you work an 8-hour shift, take that first hour from 8 to 9 and put it away. If you're making $20 an hour, take that $20 and put it away. There's two ways to do it. You can either go to your ATM and every day take $20 out of there, or at the end of your 5 days, you take $20, $40, $60, $80, $100, and you plug it out of that account. and you put it in another account that you set up for your savings, or you put it, or you I wouldn't say take cash out and put it in your house. Do not do that, please. Please, unless you got one of them safest type of safes in your house that's fireproof, and you know, and that's your petty cash. But I suggest you put it somewhere where it is giving you interest, because put it in your house, there is no interest other than the interest of your children who find out where that safe is. Put it in a high interest rated of a return account at your bank, or combine your insurance with investments. Now, Susie Orman and maybe that Dave guy, he may tell you to separate insurance from investments. There are those gurus, I mean those financial advisors who would tell you don't like they say there's some houses where the bathroom is off the kitchen. You don't do in the same area where you eat. So they said don't put your insurance with your investment. I get that and I understand that, but some tell you do that because it's all combined, like your mortgage and your insurance is in the same bucket. For some of you who own houses, you understand that the mortgage company actually, if your mortgage is $1,000 a month, they can also add in there your insurance. So now you ain't got to worry about having a separate bill for your insurance when it pops up and the city says it's time, 6 months is up. Where's that $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, depending on where you live? Most people can't come up with that money like that. So what they do, they put a little bit in it every month in the mortgage. Smart. Cap that thing in there, and now you're good. Your mortgage is higher, but at least you're gonna got that taken care of. So when that 6 months come, well, the mortgage is paying your taxes for you. You ain't got to walk down there to the assessor's office. The mortgage company done sent the money to the taxes. Okay? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So you do the same thing with your money every week. When you get your paycheck, you take that $100 out. You already allocated it in your mind. You see, some of you say, I can't do it because I can't afford it. Well, because you did not have a vision, number one. Number two, you didn't allocate it in your mind. As a man's thinking his heart, so it's you allocate it. Say, that now is an expense. You say, you adding another expense in my life? Yes, your savings. Treat it as an expense, and treat it like your lights, because you need your lights. So you treat your savings as your lights. And when you don't do it that week, give yourself a pink slip. Give yourself a shut-off notice, and try and find a way to get that money and make it up. Pay yourself first. Always do it. Every rich man tell you to do it. Even God tell you, pay yourself first. And we've done those shows on tithing. Did you know that tithing, there were 4 types of tithing, and one type of tithing was to pay yourself first. Y'all call it banquets, okay? Oh man, I can't go into this. It's too late for this. Okay? You pay yourself first. That's one type of tithing. The tithing that we're only doing today is the Levite tithe that's at our church on Sunday mornings, that 10%. That was not the only tithe. I don't know why we don't teach the other 3 tithings. The other tithing was to pay yourself first. The other one was to give to the Levite and the priest. The other one was to give to the poor, the orphans, the widows, and the strangers. We don't teach none of that stuff. None of that. All right? So, at the end of the week, people, pay yourself first. That first hour, whatever you make in an hour on your job, take that first and pay yourself first. Put it in an interest account. I don't care if it's a certificate of deposit, an Roth IRA. I don't care what is money market. Put it somewhere. Put it away. Now, those things that I just mentioned, a lot of that has to do with your insurance, and that's another show. All right, I think I've upset you enough on this thing here. Hopefully, by the time you watch this, tomorrow you will be richer in the mind first, because everything that you succeed in started in the mind. first. And then there it is. Because you already know that you're going to wake up tomorrow. You got in your mind what time you're going to wake up, what you're going to wear, most of you. You got it. Some of you got in your mind what you're going to eat for lunch tomorrow. Because you're going to make it at home. You think and plan your day out. Even your trip to work, which route you're going to take. You know which gas station you're going to gas up. I mean, you know what's person on that street corner. You know where you're going to buy your sun times. And you know you mapped out your day tomorrow. Everything, but you don't map out your finances and your savings. That's a shame. And I think that's ungodly to do that. All right? It's ungodly. He was giving you the ability to do that. So map out your finances and start saving for yourself. For yourself. And then when something happens, I don't care if something breaks, even in the car, when I bought my car and they were trying to throw all this extended warranties and all these other little things, I said, no. It's cheaper for me not to get any of that stuff because I know how it works. You don't make no money on this car sale. You make money on selling me extended warranties. Those Best Buy, Walgreens, Walmart, Target, and all these places, if they offer you an extended warranty on anything you buy, is because they make their money on the warranty and not on the sale of the item. It's like going to the movies. The movie theater don't make money on the movie. They make money on the popcorn, and the pop, and the pretzels, and those nachos. That's why it costs you $75 for a box of popcorn. Because that's where their money is. So that's the same thing here. So the car place, I told them I don't want all that extended stuff because I won't need it. Because if something breaks on this car, it'll be cheaper for me to just go ahead and pay cash for it instead of pay this big old amount of money for this extended thing, and I won't even use it. Because the kind of car I bought, I don't expect these things to break down, especially if you take good care of your car and keep up the maintenance and keep the oils and the lubricants and all that stuff changed, your car going to go a long time. You keep rotating the tires and you keep changing the oil, it's going to go a long time. So if something do break, that's fine. Why? I put away $100 a week in my savings over time. I've raised enough money for any kind of incidental. So what? It costs $1,000 to fix that item on my car. I got it in my savings. There it is right there. And I don't have to worry about paying some kind of co-pays in insurance where your health insurance, where in your car insurance you got to pay a deductible. So instead of getting into all of that stuff with deductibles and then getting ripped off, never mind. I got my money saved for a rainy day. Here's $1,000. Fix that thing. That's what the rich folk do. They don't buy extended warranties. Rich people don't buy extended warranties. I just need y'all to know that. They pay cash for stuff when they break down. You're like, well, that's because if you got to think rich. Think and grow rich. Think and then grow rich. I ain't rich, so don't listen to me. But let me tell you, I ain't poor either. Because people ask me for money all the time. 99.99% of the time, I say, where do I send it? I don't know what else to say to you. Why? I get out there and I hustle like a crazy man, like I'm trying to save my life. And I got an empty nest. I ain't got no kids at home. They all grown. All my kids are working 9-to-5 jobs or out there hustling. They all got their own place and they could be taking care of me. So I don't really have that kind of responsibility. But I go out there and hustle like a crazy man to make that money. Why? Because one day I might get a phone call. Or one day I might get ill and can't work. What am I going to lean on? What can I depend on? If my car break down, now what? What do I do? Can I afford the deductible on that car? This is important. Part 2 is coming. I'll do the whiteboard and show y'all what I'm talking about. All right. I love you guys. I went an hour and 5 minutes, but y'all know my shows can be kind of long. Get you some rest. We'll talk more about this in Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, all year long. I'm going to be talking about finances and investing in black wealth. So go to my Facebook group called Generational Wealth for African Americans. Go there now and you'll see all of the stuff we've posted to help you. Generational Wealth for African Americans. That's GWAA. Type that in the search on Facebook, GWAA, and you'll get a wealth of knowledge on the things that not just me, but many of my friends who have businesses who are going to help you get to the place where you need to get. Pray for me as I continue to go further in the Lord, as I pray for you. Love you guys. Let's talk tomorrow, okay? Peace. This is Sir Walter Jones Show. That guy right there. Not that guy. That guy right there.